Welcome to another episode of AgroLink, the show that promotes agriculture in Africa with a focus on the University of Cape Coast, particularly the School of Agriculture. This episode will focus on the Crop Science Department with a look at initiatives that's taken to promote agriculture in Africa.
My name is Dr. Grace Vanderpuiye, and I'm the head of Department of Crop Science. The Department of Crop Science started as a unit of the School of Agriculture when it was a department in the Faculty of Science. It became a full-fledged department when the school acquired a faculty status in the 90s. So the department is currently one of the 5 departments in the School of Agriculture. It comprises of 4 main units: plant protection, agronomy, genetics and breeding, physiology, and then seed science and technology. We run courses in these areas: agronomy, protection, horticulture, physiology, breeding, and crop protection. We teach courses, we conduct research, and we do outreach in these areas. And we offer MPhil programs as well in crop science with options in these areas. And they have their corresponding PhD programs as well. Currently, we are conducting research to release varieties, cassava varieties. We have 5 cassava varieties that are ready for release. We are only waiting for the inspection team to come and have a look at them, and then they would be released. These cassava varieties, we have 3 yellow flesh cassava varieties that have the precursor for vitamin A, and so they are yellow in color. And then we have 2 white ones. These have also been found to be relatively tolerant and resistant. Some are tolerant and some are resistant to the African mosaic virus. We have also recently released early cowpea varieties in collaboration with the Department of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology. We have also done some work on maize streak virus in the Volta region to help farmers manage the disease. We have also done some work on the taro leaf blight disease to help farmers manage the disease, because a lot of farmers in taro production have abandoned their fields because of this disease. Apart from that, we have also done some work on okra leaf viruses as well, managing them, trying to identify variability so that farmers can be helped in managing the disease. Apart from that, we have had training. We've trained farmers on the best use of pesticides, how they can handle pesticides safely on the field without causing environmental pollution. We have also trained farmers on organic production of sugarloaf pineapple in the Ekumfi district. We have also trained farmers on best agronomic practices in oil palm production. Apart from these, our students also find themselves in various areas in the Ghanaian economy. We have students who are teaching in the secondary schools, universities, colleges of agriculture, and then we have those who have holding high positions in the ministries and are influencing policy as well. We have some in the Ministry of Agriculture. We also have some in the Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Directorate, NGOs, commercial farms, and so on. If we are comparing to our counterparts in Europe and America, then we still have a very long way to go, because there's so much that we have to do. We haven't finished understanding the crops that we are dealing with yet. There's so much to learn. And so, yes, we have done some research and we still need to do more to ensure that production is increased so that we can feed the increasing population in Africa. Funding is number one when it comes to research. I don't think Africa, we are doing very well in funding research. Yes, of course, recently RU Forum is helping, but we are far behind. We lag behind when it comes to funding for research. We need to do more for funding. We need to do more. There's a lot of collaboration. We in my department does a lot of collaboration with a number of institutions. In fact, some of the works I mentioned were in collaboration with institutions. We have collaboration with the Crop Research Institute, which is in Kumasi. We have collaboration with Cocoa Research Institute, which is in Tafo. We also have collaboration with departments within the school. We collaborate with Soil Science Department. We collaborate with Extension. In fact, currently, we are collaborating with the Extension Department in producing disease-free pineapple planting materials for farmers within the central region. So that is one. We also collaborate with the Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Directorate in when it comes with this armyworm issue that has come. We've been collaborating with them. We've been collaborating with CABI as well. And so there's a lot of collaborations going on. We don't do things on our own. We need everybody's, ideas in order to move Africa forward. If there's a collaborating partner, we will submit reports to these collaborating partners. In addition to that, colleagues would usually publish them in journals, international journals. Apart from that, we also organize field demonstrations for farmers, so that they would learn from what some of the practices that come out of the research. We also organize workshops as well for farmers. In fact, currently we are developing short courses as well, so that people who would want to come and upgrade themselves and then get to know about new technologies would also come in and then learn. We also disseminate through SEPs. We have this program at the Agric Extension and Economics Department, where students will go to the field, find out what farmers' challenges are, come and develop a proposal, and then go back, search in literature, look for information on some of the practices that have been found in research. Then they would go back and then, together with the farmers, they would put that in practice on the field. There are a few reasons. In fact, one of them is the land tenure systems that we have. In Ghana, for example, lands are owned by families. And so if you are not a family member, it becomes very difficult having access to land. And so the land is fragmented. And so the little you get, you try to manage it, and so it becomes small scale. Apart from that, because of the land tenure system, the individual is farming on somebody's land, and the person will have to take a certain percentage of the product. And so it becomes difficult for the person to have the amount of land that he requires, the land area that he requires for production. Now, another issue is also funding. A lot of our farmers are resource poor, and they don't have the means in getting loans from the banks and so on. And so that becomes a challenge for them to produce on a large scale. So these are the three main challenges: land size, land tenure system, fragmentation of the land. If you have a small size land, your economies of production won't allow you to use mechanization and so on, because you have to think of the cost implications. And I believe that has affected our production. A lot has been done on GMOs. We know the advantages, but are we ready as Africans to accept GMOs? There's the issue of seed, that farmers have to buy from outside. There's the issue of practices that go with the production of GMOs. There are policy implications. There are implications with regards to the environment. Have we actually sat down and evaluated these and be able to come out with the fact that, yes, we are ready for GMOs? I'm not sure we have. And if we have to use GMOs, I believe that we should look within, developing our own GMOs and use, so that we will cut down on the cost of bringing in seeds from outside. These varieties that we usually release eventually end up on the market. There are some research institutes that, for example, would come for germplasm and then use them for research and also distribute if they find them good enough in their locality. And so that would enhance productivity in Africa. For example, these varieties that we are going to release, if materials are taken by research institutions, for example, evaluated, re-evaluated elsewhere, we have claimed that they are resistant to mosaic. And mosaic is virtually everywhere that cassava is produced. So if materials are taken out, then it would help to reduce, for example, disease. We also look at things related to disease management. And some of our practices, if we disseminate the information well enough in international journals, at international fora, by engaging at conferences and so on, these will become available for others in Africa to make good use of. And that will, progress agriculture in Africa. From what we have realized, we know that crops are very important, because when you look at the food pyramid, crops are at the base. Every single organism in the world depends on crops, either directly or indirectly. And so crops are very important. And based on what we are doing, if we want to increase production, then we really need to do more. First of all, we need to change our mindsets in the way that we produce our crops. We also need to look at our land tenure system so that we can engage in more expanse production rather than the limited ones that we are doing. We also have to look at the issue of post-harvest, which is very important, particularly in Africa, because certain times of the year there's a lot of food on the market, and then other times of the year there's virtually nothing. And so we need to look at our production systems, particularly post-harvest, in terms of storage and also marketing, because farmers won't produce when they know that they don't have a market. We have done very well with cocoa in Ghana. Why can't we do the same for the other produce that we have? If farmers know that there's a guaranteed market, I believe they will produce more to enhance, our food security in Africa.